Hello, everybody. Matt Ball, MD of Action Coach in Loughborough, here with another episode of Business Spotlight. And I'm delighted today to be joined by a local entrepreneur, Gavin Taylor from Gavin Taylor Hair and Lola. Gavin, how are you today?
Great. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. So, as I just said there, Gavin Taylor Hair and Lola, two amazing businesses you've grown. Just tell us a little bit firstly about the origins of your journey, which many people know it is Gavin Taylor Hair.
So yeah, we've got a salon based in Merthley. My career started quite late in the industry. I guess from school age, I wanted to be a hairdresser, but being in that industry brought its problems. Being a straight guy, my friends used to make fun. We wanted to be a hairdresser, so it wasn't my first career. Actually, I started off as a chef, but my passion saw through and started training at Tony and Guy, and we soon realised that the talent that I had, I wanted to develop, and I always wanted my own salon. So yeah, we waited, I think, 2 years for the property in Merthley to come up. Knew it was the one, and through blood, sweat, and tears, yeah, we through family and friends, we did it all ourselves. But we wanted it to be in a sustainable and a community-led business from the start.
Awesome. And how many years ago was that you started?
So we're just into our 9th year now. So yeah, we celebrated 8 years in November. It's flown by. We opened on the 10th of November 2014, and 2 days later, my wife gave birth to our first child. So wow. quite a stressful period.
Excellent. And with Lola, just tell us a little bit about that business.
So I've always, from a young age, suffered from allergies, eczema, hay fever, and any cosmetics that I tried would flare up my conditions, my skin conditions. So it was always on my mind to create my own products that weren't full of man-made chemicals. So it lent itself from being a hairdresser to start my own hair care range. Had no idea how to start this, but started mixing at home with random ingredients, and then after doing years and years of research, we developed a brand called Gavin Taylor Hair, but I soon struggled with my own name and shouting about it. So recently we've reformulated, got a new manufacturer, and we've rebranded to Lola. But it's on the back of the sustainability journey, vegan. It's organic, and it's all naturally derived, so it's all plant-based.
Amazing. And so how long's that been business going as Lola now then, as you say?
So as Lola, very, very new. So we relaunched in January this year. Cool. Previous it was another brand name, but we came up with legal opposition, which I'm not supposed to mention, but it was a trying year, let me tell you.
Right.
But we didn't give in. We knew that we had a great audience, a great product, and now we're growing that business beyond, obviously, Merthley, beyond Leicestershire, and now we've got customers in Italy, and a salon opening in Milan, which will be using our products.
Amazing. So great journey. Congratulations on the journey so far, I might add. When you think about the word success, what does success mean to you, Gavin?
It's a difficult one because, on a personal level, success, if you try and take your ego out of it, it's about connecting with people and changing people's lives in a positive way. So if I refer to the salon, it's very easy to complete a brand new haircut, and that client leaves happy. That's success in my eyes. That's making other people feel great about themselves. So I guess my success now is to expand on that, and to reach people far and wide.
Has that desire to impact people in a positive way, is that something that's always been in you, do you think, or is it something that you kind of realized through a journey, or what?
I think I've always, from a very young age, like 10 years old, I've always felt different. I don't know what it is. I wanted to make a difference, and it sounds really cliche, but changing the world is the big legacy, to leave something that's positive. So it's always been there, but I've always battled with that word success. I've battled with money, with wealth, or having it or not having it, and pushed it away at times because I didn't want it. So now, after the last sort of 2 or 3 years since COVID, since hard times in personal life, I think I've changed my mentality to realize that contentment is one thing I want, but I do want to impact. Yeah, I definitely want to impact other people's lives, because it only makes people happy. So why shouldn't we do it?
Amazing. So on that, the journey you've been on as a business owner, what's the sort of biggest learning you think you've had along the way, along that journey?
So it's been the hardest one up until recently, but there was a trigger point, and that one was to let go, to allow your team to run the business, or to be there running the business without you. In your mind, you think it's going to go wrong, it's going to collapse, but there had to be a trigger point, and it was quite a big one. But I suddenly realized that we're only here once, and I've got to spend time with my family. We have several businesses, so we've got to juggle everything and balance that with with family life. So something had to give. So at that point, I came away from the salon, and now do 2 days a week in the salon, and 3 days on Dr. Lola. And yeah, nothing's happened, nothing detrimental has happened. And yeah, I'm happier. I'm much happier.
It's one of the biggest lessons that comes up a lot, actually, as you say, that letting go, that realizing it's not all about me. It's a really important lesson. So what are your growth aspirations then for both businesses over the course of the next few years?
So what we've realized is, because I attend awards, dinners, and I'm part of the hairdressing focus group, and what we've realized is that the industry is shifting, certainly in hairdressing, and people want to work for themselves. They want autonomy. They want this freedom to come and go as they please. So what we saw early on is, and what we wanted for our business, is to have a community-led salon that rents the chairs, so people can still be mothers, still be fathers, and pick and choose when they wanted to work, rather than being told as an employee would, when you can go on holiday, when you can't. So that model is starting to grow, and we've recently, making that decision to come away from the salon a little bit, we've put in automated systems, so I can order the stock from anywhere in the world. The lock on the front door is fingerprint recognition, and the staff can let themselves in and out. The heating system can be on, automated. So it means that they've got autonomy. I've still got the business, and we just need to grow that as a team now. And what we're seeing in the future is that we could open potentially all day, every day. So like a shared office space. So you could open from 9 till 9, Sunday, 7 days a week. Because then people that have children could come and work in the evenings and use that space. We could have a locker system. So that's in my mind for the salon, to automate it even further and grow, and have like a rental, room rental system where people can log in, log on online. It's charged hourly, let's say. And then with Dr. Lola, we've just signed up with a marketing agent who are looking to get us into hotels, into guest houses, because we work on a refilling system, and we want hotel chains to realize that they're wasting a lot of miniatures. They're affecting the planet. And interestingly, recently the EU have decided in the next 5 years they're going to ban miniatures in hotels. So that's music to our ears. So we want to be first. When the law is changed and legislated, then we will be there to provide the refillables. But we don't want to be. Our USP is it's for all. It's for men, women, children. It's safe for skin conditions. It's safe for anyone with allergies. But you're not impacting the planet when you're using it.
Very cool. Very cool. So that's, the journey there. I mean, I think that almost like the WeWork concept for the salon is like really cool. I mean, how scalable is that?
Yeah.
As you say, you've got that transition coming from the EU as well.
Yes.
How do you see yourself growing? Like, what areas do you think you're going to have to grow in order to facilitate that business growth?
So for me, it's growing. It's hard, but I want to grow my own brand personally. Me as a business owner, I'd love to be able to get up on stage and do TED Talks and talk about how that growth can be emulated and everyone can share in that growth. It doesn't have to be me. Any model can be adapted to fit that. And I just see since COVID, the habits of the team, the staff, people, they want to have their freedom, and any model, any business can be automated. And what we were saying earlier about trusting your team, nothing's going to go wrong. Well, exactly that. Let your team be responsible. Let them take the reins, and they'll thank you for it.
Amazing. Have you always this concept of team? You've said the word a lot. It's really interesting me. Have you said obviously there's a desire to help people? How important is team going to be for you to achieve the growth you think you want to get?
So it's been difficult over the last 8 years. We've had lots of staff come and go. But when I've asked them, what do you love doing? It's never been hairdressing. I said, what do you want to do? What do you want to what do you love doing? And the answers of, I'd love to be a teacher. I'd love to. And I turn around and I say, well, go and do that. Yeah. So I think what we've realized is we want to work with people and individuals, whether it's on a employed basis or self-employed, that are like-minded. And what we're gently doing is surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, even down to the manufacturers, the marketing team. They all, when you get on a call and you just resonate with that person, and you just know, and it's a gut feeling. So what we're trying to do now is build a team that are like us, that want the same outcome, that want the same wealth and the same journey, and we don't want it for ourselves, because that's greed. That's not what's going to fulfill us and be successful, is it? If everyone else is happy, and that means we're going to be happy. So I think if everyone else is getting paid well, automatically the business owner is going to get paid well. So so I'm sure you heard of the author Simon Sinek, and his good leaders always eat last.
Yeah.
And you find that, don't you, when you're a business owner, It was one of the big surprises when I first opened Gavin Taylor Hair, is that, oh, like, that's what we've got left, and that's ours. That's the money left. That's what the business owner gets. It's like, oh, it's not as easy as I thought. Yeah. So we're really concentrating on building that team around us, and they don't have to be directly assigned to us either. No,
I mean, it's that cycle, isn't it? If you look after your team, the team look after the customers look after the business, and the business will look after you. It's a clear cycle the way you explained it there, but it's easy to lose track of it along the way.
It really is. And I think growing up, all I had this vision of was a wealthy business owner driving around in a big Range Rover that's greedy, selfish, and flies first class and doesn't care about their team, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, amazing. So I think your view of what the direction you're taking, the vision you've got for the business, and the way you're going about doing it is really inspiring. There's a lot of business owners out there at the moment who are kind of struggling a little bit. We know when the pressure comes on as business owners, people often tend to insulate a little bit and lose track of the vision. What advice would you give to a business owner watching this who's finding things a bit tough at the moment, Gavin?
Well, what I'm seeing on the high street, I really noticed the other day, and it suddenly dawned on me that even the big companies, the big corporations, they're collaborating. They're working together. I mean, I saw I think Starbucks and Marks and Spencer's. You can get Marks and Spencer's food in Starbucks. Yeah. So there's a clear collaboration, and that's my massive advice, is that we can all work together and help each other. Mm-hmm. So the biggest lesson I've learned from a mentor of mine is to reach out. Like, if someone calls me and said, "Could you help me?" Always ask a busy person. Yeah, they'll help you out. Don't ask someone that's not busy, because then they're not proactive. So reach out to someone, and they'll always have advice. They'll always have time. Mm-hmm. So there's always an answer, always a solution. Yeah, it's running a business. Often they say it's often a lonely place, and there's plenty out there for everybody. And it's amazing how just sharing where you're at, and people go, "Oh yeah, either I've been there, or I'm there, or oh thanks." It makes that journey so much easier, doesn't it? Absolutely.
Well, final question then, Gavin. What advice would you give your 18-year-old self? Think back to the start of the journey. What advice would you give that 18-year-old Gavin Taylor?
Don't worry about anything. I spent a lot of my younger life worrying about outcomes. And you end up procrastinating, don't you? You don't do anything at all. Mm-hmm. Frozen in time. And like I say, there's been some certain trigger points recently and maybe it's just age, I don't know, maybe it's meant to be like this, but I've now recently realized that there's nothing to worry about. As long as you're not doing anybody any harm or disservice, no one's out there to pull you down. Actually, it's quite the opposite. And put yourself out there, and give it a go, because like I think there's a famous quote that says, it's an overnight success of 30 years. It's always the same story. No one ever gets it the first time round. But just don't worry about anything, because you've got to enjoy the journey and live in the moment, because that's all we have. We can't worry about the past, and the future is not a given. So I think living in the now, enjoy it, and don't worry.
Amazing. Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
Listen, Gavin, absolute pleasure to have you on this episode of the Business Spotlight. To our viewers, thanks for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Many thanks, Gavin.
Thank you very much.